Oh, hey, let's talk about ranges.
Appliance Factory and Mattress Kingdom, the nation's largest discount appliance dealer. Visit our website for deals and store locations near you.
All right, hey folks, this is Ben from Appliance Factory, and today we're talking about ranges. So you may know this as a stove, you may know it as an oven, but technical term for anything where it's got the cooking surface on top and the cavity inside that gets hot is going to be a range. So you can get a standalone cooktop that you install in your countertop, you can get a oven that you put in the wall, but when it's all in one, it's a range, and that's what we're talking about today. So first thing you want to consider if it's your first time buying a range ever, before you even go to the store, check out what kind of power source you have. So unless you have a strong preference for gas or electric, it's usually going to be cheaper and easier to use what you already have installed in your kitchen. So you're going to check to see if you've got a gas hookup or an electric hookup. So you can have wiring run for electric or a gas line, but unless you have a strong preference, it's easier to just go with what's already there. So once you know what type you're hooked up for, now we gotta start actually looking at the appliances themselves. So if you're gonna go with electric, biggest thing you're gonna look at first is what kind of burners you have on top. So cheapest option, entry level here, is gonna be these coils. Something that you're going to be definitely familiar with if you've ever had an apartment. You know, there's nothing fancy about them. It's just a coil, then electric current runs through and it gets hot. Problem with these ones, you know, they do rattle, they're a little noisy. If something drips down into the cup here and burns on, it's hard to keep them clean, but it's not an expensive option and you can replace the cups and the coils fairly easily. So it's a good one for things where if you think someone's gonna be hard on the range. So next option, you take a step up from there, is you do have your glass top options. So these are very similar in that, you know, they take that same coil and actually just put a piece of glass over it typically. So underneath the rings here is actually going to be a very similar coil. Typically with these though, you do get options where you can actually start to add more burners. Typically your coil tops are only going to have 4 burners. So with the glass tops, you start to see sometimes 5 burners. You also see some variability in the size of them. So like this one right here, this is actually a variable size burner where it can actually either be 6, 9, or 12 inches, depending on the setting you choose on the knob here. So, you know, advantages to the glass top is it's going to be easier to clean and it has a nicer look to it, but it is a little bit more fragile because this is glass. So it can scratch, it can crack, so you do have to be a little bit more careful with it. So next, let's go take a look at induction. This is an induction range right here. Biggest thing that you'll notice right away is it looks just like a glass top electric. So a lot of times if you're looking, just an easy way to kind of tell these apart at the showroom is a lot of the inductions actually do say induction right on the top of them. Other than that, they look very similar, but what's inside is what's different. So with an induction range, you're actually going to have a system of magnets that actually are going to excite the molecules in your pan and actually turns the pan into the heat source. So it's a lot of science behind it. It's kind of complicated, but it's also really cool because it does heat up extra fast. So you're gonna boil water a lot faster than most other types of heat sources. But what's really cool here too is because the pan is actually the heat source, there's gonna be a little bit of heat transfer that gets through the cooktop, but once you remove the pan from the heat, this cooktop's going to be warm. It's not actually going to be hot, so it's a lot safer. There's less burn risk. Where you do run into kind of the cons of this is it doesn't work with every pan. So basically a magnet has to be able to stick to your pan if it's going to work with an induction cooktop. And that's because magnets is how it works. But to get around that, they do make pads that can go underneath your pans that actually do get hot. So if you have a favorite pan that's not magnetic, it's fine, but it's just an extra piece of equipment you have to have. The other issue that you run into with these ones is if you are someone who likes to pick your pans up a lot and move them around, you don't have any heat actually getting to the pan when it's removed from the cooktop. So like with gas, where if you want to pick it up and move it a little bit, you're still going to have that heat coming up into the bottom of the pan even though you're off of the surface. With induction, you do lose the heat when you remove the pan from the surface. So good option, but we'll look at gas next. The next heat source we're going to look at is gas. So gas has been a favorite of home cooks and professionals for a long time because you have a finer control over the amount of heat that you are giving to your pan. So with most of your electric ranges, there are preset options 1 through 9 typically, whereas on a gas range, they do have those on a lot of the knobs, but in the spaces in between, you actually can just control the height of the flame just visually, so you see how big that flame is, and it gives you a good idea of how much heat's getting to your pan, and gives you an idea and a way to control the delicate spaces between the numbers. What you do like with gas as well is it gives you some different burner setups as well, where you can have these burners, which are kind of cool for a larger pan like a wok, so it heats the whole thing. You can also put one of these grills over the top of it, and so that's going to give you a good option for pancakes, bacon, grilled cheeses, anything like that where a flat surface is going to be good. And then these season like a cast iron pan, so you don't have to worry about washing them as much. Con to a gas range, especially here at elevation, we're in Denver, the higher you get, flame actually obviously needs oxygen to work, so the higher in elevation you get, the less efficient your gas range is going to be. So at higher elevations, you do have options to convert to like a liquid propane setup or something of that nature, but usually that's going to add extra expense and difficulty, so it might be easier to go with something like an induction because it is so quick and efficient even at elevation. The next major option that you're going to be aware of is the style of range that you choose. Basically, they come in two different styles. You've got your freestanding option, which has the control panel located on the back here, and you have your slide-in option, which does not have a back panel. So big difference here is going to be that option. The reason that you might want it one way or the other is with your freestanding option, you can actually get your controls and your knobs put up on the top here, so that if you have small children, dogs, things of that nature, they don't have access to turning on your gas on accident. So that's pretty nice. But with the slide-in, it has a much cleaner, more modern look, and if you spent money on your backsplash and it looks really nice, gives you more availability to show that off. But the knobs are usually going to be on the front, which actually is a benefit in itself, because that way you don't have to reach over your heat sources to adjust the knobs. So a little bit of both, and depends kind of on your living situation, and if you do have small children in the house, of what option you might want to go with. What else we could look at here as we're in this section is whether or not you have a storage, warming, or baking drawer on the bottom. So a lot of these ovens, ranges, whatever you want to call them, are going to have something on the bottom here. And in a lot of these, it's a storage drawer, and it's just a really good spot to put your pots, pans, lids, things of that nature. But some of these, you'll notice, actually do have a warming drawer option where it gets a little bit warmer, and you can put plates down here so they're pre-warmed before you actually put the food on them. But some of these, it's a little bit of a rare option, but it does exist, that you can actually get this as a baking drawer that gets up to about 400 degrees, and you can bake a cake down here while you're baking something else in the main cavity. So really good option for holidays or if you entertain a lot. And while we're on the subject of multiple baking options, we do have the option too that you can do a double oven on a lot of these slide-in ranges, is where it's more common, but they do make freestanding options as well. And what's cool here is you have a smaller oven up top, which is good for frequent use because it heats up faster. And if you want to, you can actually use the lower oven as well, and that's going to allow you to cook two different things at two different temperatures, which again, really good option if you entertain a lot, large events, holidays, things of that nature. And in these double ovens, you also have a couple of options where this Samsung here actually has a removable shelf, so you can actually just use it as a single oven on, say, Thanksgiving when you want to throw a turkey in here. There are other ones though where it's a fixed shelf, and the big difference there, pros and cons, is going to be that this removable one is going to give you the feel of a double oven, but because there's a little bit of obviously space around it, it's not an airtight seal, you are going to have some heat leakage between the cavities, and it's hard to keep a very specific temperature in either one of them. And even with one with a solid shelf in there, you are going to see a little bit of heat bleed, but it's going to be more precise if you have the actual shelf in there than the removable one. But typically not enough that unless you're cooking something very delicate like a souffle, it probably shouldn't affect you too much. But next, let's look inside of these at what makes them tick a little bit. Once you get inside the range, something you're going to take a look at as well is what kind of element it has. And it's something that you probably wouldn't think of if you've never looked at these before, but there is a difference. So, for example, this has a hidden element. So down at the bottom here is where the heating element of any of these ovens is going to be, and it's the heat source. So this one's hidden, so it's easy to clean if something spills. Your other option is going to be this one here, where it's not a hidden element, and you can actually see the element itself sitting there. And why that's not as good is going to be if something does spill. It's a higher chance that it's going to get baked onto the bottom of the oven and be harder to clean off. And as long as we're talking about cleaning, let's talk a little bit about self-clean. A lot of these ovens, are going to have self-cleaning options, and that is an option that some people go with, but something to consider is that the self-clean is going to be harder on the appliance. Just keeping something at that high of a temperature for that long is really hard on the control boards and the internal mechanicals. And also, it's going to require you to basically stink up your house for a few hours while it gets done. The other option that some of these have is a actual steam clean option. And so steam cleaning is nice where you can actually see this one has kind of a reservoir at the bottom where you can put a small amount of water in this, and it goes at a much lower temperature and just steams up the inside of the oven, and then you can wipe it down and clean it out. So con of that one though is going to be that you do have to do it more frequently. And it does take a little bit of elbow grease because you actually have to get in there and wipe down the inside of the oven. So as long as we're looking at the inside of this one as well, let's take a look at that fan in the back, because that's the next thing that we'll talk about is whether or not these ovens have convection. So convection has been around for a while, and it's a really cool technology that helps to heat up your oven faster and helps you to cook things faster. So you think about it, it's kind of like if you have a hot bowl of soup and you blow across it to cool it down faster. Convection is the exact opposite because it's with heat, and basically that fan is going to spin and blow the hot air across your food, move the air around inside the oven so that it distributes it more effectively, and really helps with getting the oven up to temperature faster, and also helps with crisping things like French fries, tater tots, things of that nature. When it comes to convection, there are a couple different options there as well that you want to be aware of. There's standard convection, which is just a fan, and then there's true or European convection, known by both, where there's actually a separate heating element near the fan that actually heats the air before it blows out instead of just moving the air around. And then now, what is kind of a newer feature in a lot of modern Rangers is they're actually coming with air fry. So there's a couple of different ways that the air fry can actually be implemented. Sometimes it's from the back of the chamber like that, but to be a true air fry, usually it does actually have to come from the top of the oven and blow down onto the food. So biggest difference with air fry is it's a very similar thing to convection, but it's a specific algorithm where the fan actually spins a little faster to move the air, and it gets a little bit hotter than your typical convection. Lastly, as we're looking at the inside of this oven, another thing that you'll want to be aware of when you're looking at ranges is whether or not it has a broiler. If you do use broil features a lot, it's pretty rare that they don't come with a broiler, but it's something you want to check just to make sure in case that is a feature that you want and would use frequently. This model, as long as we're looking at the inside of the oven as well, does have another cool feature, which is a temperature probe. And so this one is really cool. It actually comes with a temperature probe that you can stab right into your food, and if you hook it up to your app on your phone, you can actually monitor the internal temperature of whatever you're cooking. So if you are going for a specific temperature, or especially just with chicken and you want to make sure it's not raw, it gives you a lot of control so you don't have to cut it open and let all the juice out just to know if it's cooked. So very cool options there on the inside of the oven. Let's take a look at some of the other options. We're back to the Samsung because this actually does have some really cool features as well on the inside of the oven. So we just talked about the probe. This is an example of that. This is what you would actually put into the food. And as you can see, most of it's coated here in silicone, so it actually can stay in here while the oven's on, which is really helpful if you are trying to monitor the temperature while it's cooking. You see this one actually does come with an air fry tray as well. This is something that comes with some of the ranges, but you can actually buy it separately off of Amazon or from us, and it's really helpful even if you don't have air fry for just normal convection, because it allows the air to flow around the food. Another cool thing about this one that you're going to want to notice and kind of consider as you're purchasing your range is how many racks are in the actual oven space here and what kind of racks they are. You'll see this one actually has a normal rack system where it just rests on these grooves, but it does also have this glide rack system, and that is really nice if you're cooking something heavy, like a 20-pound Thanksgiving turkey, where it takes a little bit of effort to get it out of the oven. By actually bringing it out of the oven, you minimize the chances that you're actually gonna burn yourself on the inside of the oven. It's a little safer, it's a little easier on the back, and just a really nice feature to have if you do cook heavier things or if you have heavy stoneware that you like to bake in. So next, we're gonna take a look at some pro ranges just to give you an idea of sizes as well. Let's talk about sizes. All of the ranges we've looked at so far are 30 inches wide, and that's actually going to be your standard size for most ranges. However, once you get up to the professional style ranges, you do get more sizing options. So these will actually come in sizes of 36 inches, 48 inches. There's even one from Thermador that goes all the way up to 60 inches. And it's a really nice option because you can get more burners that way. Like this one has obviously 6 burners, has a griddle built in. These are more common that you'll see options like dual fuel, which you can get dual fuel on your standard ranges. It's less common though. Dual fuel is where the inside of the oven is run by electricity, but the cooktop is gas. And you see that more commonly in pro ranges, but like I said, you can get it on select standard sizes as well. Nice thing with these bigger ranges is you do have more cooking surface. So holidays, large events, if you do entertain a lot, it gives you a lot more flexibility as far as cooking. You can actually get these where the side oven is completely separate and gives you even a better insulation than the built-in double ovens that you saw on the standard ranges. So truer temperatures, and on that 60-inch Thermador that I talked about, they actually have 2 full-size ovens next to each other, which is really cool. But that's your size options. They go all the way up to 60 inches, but for most people, 30 inches is standard. It's probably what your kitchen, what the cutout in your countertop is ready for. But this is an option if you did want that extra cooking space because you do entertain a lot, but these are obviously going to be more expensive. And if you wouldn't use the extra burners, it's probably not something necessary for most cooks. All right, folks, well, that's my overview of ranges for a first-time buyer. Obviously, those are standard features that are common across a lot of different models of range. So once you have it picked out of kind of a good idea of what you're looking for, make sure to stop into one of our Appliance Factory locations and work with one of our product specialists, and they can guide you through the more advanced features that are more brand specific, more niche, things that maybe aren't included on every range, but that you might enjoy, and they can walk you through availability and what combination of features might be best for you. But until next time, please make sure to leave a comment if you have any questions or if you have any future videos that you'd like me to do. Like the video, subscribe to the channel so that you can keep on top of everything that we're doing. But until next time, I'm Ben. Have a good one.